My service said you phoned.
Well, yes. Did Mr. Cord manage to get in touch with you?
No. I was on call.
Well, he wanted me to give you the key to Miss Howard's room. He said that maybe you would like to go through her things before he takes them away. At your convenience, and maybe keep something.
When is he coming over here?
Oh, well, he said tomorrow.
Mrs. Hewitt, I think it might be best if we waited for him.
I know how hard it is. I lost my sister last year, and we had to dispose of the house right away. Kind of clean everything out. Look, I want you to know how very sorry I am. She was such a lady. Always went out of her way to be pleasant, you know, which is not like many young people today.
Mrs. Hewitt, I have to get back to the hospital. Thanks for calling. Thank you.
And I tell you, if that Lee Weber had anything to do with it, I just hope he gets what he deserves.
I don't know why I came here.
Oh, please, here's the key. Now, look, I don't have to be here. Just you feel free to come in whenever you please.
Thank you.
Well, which one?
Ooh, don't ask me.
Come on, they're good. They really are.
I think I'm going to have leftovers myself.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Ooh, I'm adventurous, but once when I was little, I saw this movie about a giant lobster. I didn't sleep for a week.
It was just a movie.
I'm still going to have leftovers. Ooh. Yeah. Hi, Dr. Rossi.
Hi, Dr. Rossi.
Hi. Well, what is it, seafood time at the Harrington Manor tonight, huh?
Yeah, we came down to pick up a couple of these babies. Finally.
He's been trying to get me to make him a lobster dinner for weeks. The lobsters give me the creeps. They're so crawly.
No one asked you to play with them. I just want to eat one.
You're going to, don't worry.
It's a taste I developed when I was rich and pampered.
Would you like to come over for dinner? We can pick up another one of these things.
Yeah, do yourself in.
Of course, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out.
It'll turn out great. Lobster thermidor under glass a la Newburgh, prepared by Mrs. R. Harrington and supervised by Mr. N. Harrington. Come on.
Well, maybe some other time. I have to get back to the lab. I've started up my research project again. But thanks.
Hey, that's great. Maybe we have a Louis Pasteur in our midst.
Well, I doubt if it'll be anything dramatic like that. But I am pleased with the way it's turned out.
Well, maybe we can make it some other time?
Yeah, maybe some other time. Well, bon appetit, mes amis.
Bye, Dr. Rossi.
Bye. I gotta hand it to him. I guess it's all that scientific training.
What do you mean?
Well, he's as cool as a cucumber. I heard they were gonna get married.
Norm, don't you understand? He's so used to hiding things. You know, keeping cool and calm to cheer up his patients. He can't let go. You know, I'm really worried about him. Everybody always leans on him. Who's he got to lean on?
I can't get over the gall of Lee Weber. How does a mind like that work? I told him I was one of the people who brought him to trial. It didn't even faze him. He just kept haranguing me to defend him.
You said no, didn't you?
I wish it was that easy.
Isn't it?
I guess so. Oh, this roast looks great.
Who is going to defend him?
The court appointed Bill Anderson.
Is he good?
Very. Very competent.
What is it, Stephen?
Well, I'm just not sure he's guilty.
Well, because he says he isn't.
Oh, of course not. Lee Weber would lie to his grandmother on her deathbed.
Well, then.
It's Anne. What happened right before the end?
You mean going up to the Peyton house?
Having a blistering go-around with Mother, being lacerated to the bone, being made to feel unwanted.
Are you sure it affected Anne that much? If she never really knew Hannah, I'm sure she never felt like a daughter to her.
Well, that's just it. Those last moments were the moments when she did start to know her. The moments when she started to really see what her mother was like. The kind of hatred and coldness she was capable of, the kind of cruelty.
Go on.
Anne was a very strong person in some ways, but she had an Achilles heel, a fear of the past.
But I thought that was all over with. She'd found out that she was innocent.
You heal the wounds, but you can't take back the experience, the memory of the pain. That bluff held a morbid fascination for her. It overshadowed her whole life. She even spent time in a mental institution because of it. Look, isn't it possible that she had a setback? Remember, she'd been blown around emotionally a lot the previous week. She'd found out that she didn't blind Chris. She found out she had a brother and a mother alive. Let's say she confronted that mother and was brutally rejected by her. Made to face things that even the strongest person would have found tough to handle. She went to the bluff. And for a single moment, she lost control. All the good that had been done to her was forgotten. Nothing seemed worth anything. No one was there to counterbalance her mood, no one to remind her of how far she'd come. And then...
She was deeply in love, Stephen. I wonder if a person in that frame of mind would ever take their own life, no matter what their past might have been.
Love conquers all?
She and Mike Rossi were going to be married. Do you think anything Hannah said to her could have brought her that out of her mind?
Maybe not.
But do you think knowing you're going to get married automatically solves all of a person's problems?
I think the security of a happy marriage to a person like Anne could have gone a long way to make her feel more complete.
She wasn't married yet. The first marriage was a disaster. There was still time for her to be afraid she'd make a mess of the second. Fail to please the person she loved. Fail to make him happy. You know, Betty, when we were separated, one night I just got in the car and drove. Somewhere out between White River and Hastings, it started to rain. I remembered an old movie where the hero was in the same situation, feeling pretty much the way I did. All of a sudden, he just reached up and switched off the windshield wipers and kept on driving until the car piled up and he was killed. Such an eloquent gesture. So simple, just...
Stephen, you didn't actually.
Oh, yes, I did.
But we were very unhappy then. You can't say Anne felt the same way.
Betty, Anne was my sister. All right, I didn't really know her. In the law books, we'd be listed as siblings, not in fact, but in blood. But that's just the point. I am sure what she felt, down deep in the blood. I know what it's like to be rejected by a mother, to have a fear planted in you that you're not capable of being loved, that you don't deserve to be happy, that as a human being, you're a total failure. And I know where it can lead.
Stephen, there isn't something else behind this, is there?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're not just trying to convince yourself of it so that you'll have some other reason to hate Mr. Peyton and your mother.
If they drove Anne to her death, I'd say that's a pretty good reason to hate them.
But you don't know that for sure. Stephen, we agreed we didn't need them. We agreed that we were going to make our own life together.
And we will.
No. No, not unless you forget the past. Accept your mother as a human being who made mistakes, a lot of mistakes, like everyone else.
Oh, I'd like to, Betty. Believe me, I'd like to. And maybe I could have. But there's Anne.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
Let's get married.
Now? I mean, right now?
Oh, I love you. Even if the old man's conniving has robbed you of a father, your sister's dead. So you let him go on scheming and lying. You won't even lift a finger in defense of your own mother.
What do you want, Mr. Harrington?
Stephen, I saw your mother less than an hour ago. She's a very frightened woman.